Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all keeping well, keeping sane, keeping fit, keeping healthy, and remaining focused as we move through another challenging year, but with brighter prospects ahead, I firmly believe. Anyway, we're on a little out and back today. We're going to do about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 out and an hour and 10 back, obviously. And today, my friends, I'm on the Teesdale Way. Teesdale Way, one of the many long-distance footpaths which runs from, I believe, the Pennines and ends in Redcar, I think. It predominantly follows the River Tees, and I thought this afternoon I've got a couple of hours free, so I've parked up just at the church at Low Dinsdale, and I've joined the Teesdale Way, headed in the general direction of Yarm, going for about an hour or so, going to see how far I can get in an hour, and turn around and head back. I think it will be an out and back. I don't think we can turn this route into a round unless we get all the way to Yarm. You can cross the River Tees at Low Dinsdale, but I believe the next place you can cross the River Tees is at Yarm itself. So I don't know whether we're going to make it all the way, and to be honest, I fancy an off-road trek today. I don't really fancy an hour and 10 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes on tarmac. So the other thing as well, have a little look where I am. I'm in the woods, and it's very windy today, very, very windy indeed, but I'm down in the river valley now, and the trees are providing a natural canopy against the wind, obviously, as well as being down in the valley. So just have a little look around, see where we are. Beautiful here, absolutely beautiful. On the banks of the River Tees, let me just show you, you can just see, just down there, there is the River Tees, meandering its way, and it certainly does meander as a river. It twists and turns and winds all over the place. Certainly not going as the crow flies. So I'll stop off at various points along the route, show you what's going on. We'll have a little catch up and a chat, and you might be wondering why I've got the bandana on today. Well, pretty simple. I'm suffering from lockdown hair, and I'm starting to look like the wild man of Borneo. So I've pulled my buff up to create a bandana today to keep my hair out of the way. Looking quite good, I think. Anyway, I'm going to push on, get some miles in, and I'll see you guys all in a little while. Take care. Come along, let's get going. Welcome back. So I've been walking for just over an hour now, and as explained earlier, I set off from Low Dinsdale on the Teesdale way. We've passed through Middleton One Row, beautiful little place. We're about just under halfway to Yarm, so I'm obviously not going to make it to Yarm and back today because there's some badass clouds coming in as well. If you just have a little look at the sky, it's turning inky grey very quickly. But for the records and the statisticians, I reckon it would take me about 2 hours to walk from Low Dinsdale to Yarm, maybe just over 2 hours. So you would probably spend an hour mooching around Yarm, because it is a place that's worth mooching around, and then you've got the return journey, which would be another 2 hours or so. So I'm guessing if I was to do Low Dinsdale to Yarm and back, I'm looking at a day out really. But this afternoon wasn't really about achieving anything major, to be honest. It was more to do with getting out and about and getting a bit of fresh air, recharging the batteries. And oh, it's so windy this afternoon though. I apologise for the wind interference. I've just come out from behind, you can just see there, I've just come out from behind a little coppice of trees onto an open path that runs across this open plain, so it's going to be quite windy. I'm trying to figure out which way the wind is blowing. We've had to do a little detour as well off the banks of the River Tees. One section of the bank has been deemed unsafe, and you're not allowed to walk on it. It's at risk of collapse apparently. So, but anyway, I hope you are all safe and well, and looking after yourselves and looking after each other as well. That's also important in these strange times. And what have I been up to? Well, this morning I went out and bought a mountain bike. For those that know me well, will know that I used to do a lot of competitive cycling, and I gave that up many years ago when life got serious and I had to be responsible. But now I've got a bit more time on my hands again. I've decided to revisit my love of cycling, and again, apologies for the wind interference. It's very breezy. So yeah, I've decided to revisit my love of off-road cycling, and if all goes according to plan, in May, back end, sort of mid to back end of May, I'm going to head down to Eastbourne, and I'm going to cycle the South Downs Way, which is exactly 100 miles from Eastbourne to Winchester. I'll do it in 3 days, so 30 odd miles a day. I've got accommodation and everything lined up, hopefully, so as long as the country opens up, I can get my legs out and start cycling again, which will be great. And then what else have I got lined up? In June sometime I'll be revisiting the Cleveland Way, and I'll be taking on the full length of the Cleveland Way once I know that the cheapest bed and breakfasts en route are back open, and I've got somewhere safe to sleep for the night. And again, fingers crossed and all go according to plan, myself and my family are off to Corfu in July. I'm going 10 days early to walk the Corfu Trail, which is from Kavos, the southern foot of Corfu Island, to the northernmost tip of the island, and this is going to be a big challenge. It's 7 days of back-to-back hiking, and we're looking at 6, possibly 7 hours a day in very warm temperatures indeed. So, and then all being well, again, August, we're off to the Greek Islands, back in the Greek Islands to complete our sailing qualification. That's my wife and I, and hopefully we'll be rewarded with our ICC, which is your International Certificate of Competence. It's a driver's license for sailing yachts, and hopefully that will open up our opportunities to sail a little bit freer without having to rely on people, rely on a skipper or a flotilla lead. So we'll be able to bareboat, as they call it, and charter a boat. Who knows, in the future we might even buy our own boat. Watch this space. So I'm going to sign off, friends, because I'm going to play this little video clip back to see if it's any good, because the wind is gushing across here, and I really don't want you guys just listening to a whole load of wind noise when I've got far more informative stuff to tell you. So I'm going to crack on and just have a look at those clouds coming in. I think there's a high probability that I'm going to get wet today, so I'm going to probably wind this little section up and start heading back towards Low Dinsdale. So this route is definitely an out and back. There is absolutely no way we're going to make it to Yarm and turn it into a round this afternoon. So take care, my friends, and I'll see you all in a short while. My day go. Bye bye. sometimes gates make perfect sense and you can see the purpose of them, but this one, I'm not quite sure what the plan was here, but I'm going to execute the correct approach. Help us out. So, who can hear the dog? Who let the dogs out? Dog with attitude, clearly. Spoiling my afternoon peace and quiet. Anyway, we're heading back now towards Middleton One Row and then eventually back to Low Dinsdale. I'm looking forward to getting back into the trees down in the river valley of the River Tees, where we'll be sheltered from the wind. But it's been a nice little blast out this afternoon. Just have a little look behind me. You can see the tree there, just up there. There's broken trees all along the river. It just reminds you of the power and the force of nature and how it should be understood and respected. In fact, there's devastation along here everywhere you look. There's also little reminders of just how high the river was a couple of months ago, because there's bits of tree dangling from trees that have clearly been lifted by the water level and then caught by the trees. It's like a big log that someone's just picked up and put in the tree. Just again, have a look. You can just see the mangled mess of nature. Going over this nice little bridge actually, look at this. Look at that. Hope it's safe. It's quite wobbly. Anyway, I'm going to push on. So, I'll jump back on in a little while guys, and in the meantime take care. I'll see you all soon. All around me is wild garlic. The green plants that you can see are wild garlic. If you like garlic, you'll absolutely love the smell down here today. It's phenomenal. If you don't like garlic, well, I'm guessing your food can taste very bland sometimes. Anyway, I spoke earlier about the rising river of the Tees, and just down here you can see again a great big chunk of fallen tree just balancing on the wishbone branch of a tree on the riverbank. It gives you an idea. That log, that chunk of tree is about 4 meters above the river height as of today, so it gives you an idea of just how high the river can rise. And if you see over on the bank just up there, you can see the river level today, and you can see almost middle of the screen now is where the river peaks most of the time after heavy rain. And just back there, that's where I've come from. Down here again, beautiful wild garlic. Beautiful colour of the daffodils against the wild garlic leaves. Nature truly is a wonderful thing. And quite an impressive house up on the hill there as well. Not really my cup of tea if I'm honest. And another one up on the hill just there as well. Beautiful, I suppose. But as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's not really my thing. So we're going to push on. Little gusts of wind coming in again as well. So once again, apologies for the wind interference, but we're walking on the Teesdale way and we're heading back to Low Dinsdale. Hope you're enjoying the walk today. It's been a little 2 hour 15, 2 hour 20 minute blast just to blow off the cobwebs and recharge the batteries. So apologies if it's windy again, but it is blowing a gale down here. Absolutely blowing a gale. So I'm going to sign off and see you guys in a little while. Mind there you go. Take care. So my friends, we have about 10, maybe 15 minutes left on the Teesdale way until I get back to Low Dinsdale. Let me just show you where I am. We're back in the woods, just over my shoulder. That's where I've come from. We're heading downhill now through that little tunnel of trees, through that little canopy there. So we're going to push on. And then when we get through the little canopy of trees, there should be a bridge going over a little beck, a little drainage beck, which comes from the golf course, I think. And we cross over the bridge, taking the path to the left. We're not going uphill, to the right. And then we've got a little roller coaster, 10-minute, 15-minute back to the car, which is parked just outside the church of Low Dinsdale. So there's a few specks of rain coming in now as well, so I'm looking forward to getting back. I didn't get wet. And I don't want to get wet in the last 10-15 minutes. Just behind me here you can see that's the bridge that we are crossing over. So if you are walking the Teesdale way, it's very, very clearly marked, but when you get to this point here, this little junction, you can just see behind me there, you can just see the little way markers, the yellow way markers. You can go up that little flight of sleeper steps. That will take you up to the golf course, but where we're going is over this little bridge here, and we're going off up through the woods. So why don't you walk with me for a few minutes, because this will probably be my last appearance today. So let me just recap and tell you what we've been up to this afternoon. So parked up at Low Dinsdale Church, headed out along the Teesdale way in the general direction of Yarm. The plan was to walk for about an hour and 10. Ended up walking out for an hour and 15 minutes. Got just under halfway to Yarm, so I've established now that if I'm going to do Low Dinsdale Church to Yarm and back, or turn it into a round and come back over the river at Yarm and then again cross the river just the other side of Low Dinsdale, it's going to be a good 4.5 hour walk. And then by the time you've mooched around Yarm for an hour, it's a good word that, isn't it, mooch? Wonder where that came from. Anyway, so yeah, if you're going to do Low Dinsdale to Yarm on the Teesdale way, it's a day out really, and pick a nice day. Plenty of places hopefully in the future to stop. Middleton One Row, beautiful, lovely little village on the banks of the River Tees. So we've seen some lovely stuff this afternoon as well. We've seen nature in all its glory. The bluebells are starting to come through. I was out a few weeks ago and I created a short film, well actually it ended up 2 short films called The Colours of Spring, inspired by the Talk Talk album, The Colour of Spring. And I spoke then that the bluebells will be coming through in a couple of weeks, and they're starting to come through now. So we need some more sunshine, we need some more warm weather to bring out the royal blue carpet or blanket of bluebells, which so brighten the place up as we work our way through spring and towards summer. It's really nice down here in the woods because I'm out of the wind now. Let me just show you up. We've got this lovely canopy of trees breaking the wind just up there, and then just behind me is the path. That's where we're going, just up there. You might be able to just make it out, but there's a woodpecker somewhere. I can hear him pecking against the bark of a tree. But everywhere you look, just have a little look behind me, everywhere you look you can see nature bursting into life. Isn't that lovely? So when we get to the end of this path, there is a gate, and then we've got an open field to walk across. There's sheep in the field at the moment as well. It's going to be windy crossing that field, so I'll probably sign this one off. But let me just remind you what I'm up to later in the year. All being well, fingers crossed, restrictions lifted. So May, mountain biking the South Downs Way in 3 days, 100 miles Eastbourne to Winchester. Bring that on. I'm really looking forward to that, and I've ordered my new mountain bike this morning as well. So that's May, and then June, again, all being well, the Cleveland Way, Helmsley to Firely, 109 miles. Back to back is the plan, over 5 days I think I'll do it. But again, we're reliant on bed and breakfasts opening. And then July, 10th of July I think, again, all being well, foreign travel and the airline's running, flying out to Corfu 10 days before my family to walk the Corfu Trail. That will be 7 days, maybe 8 days, just under 100 miles from Kavos at the southern end of the island to the northernmost tip, the north side of the infamous Mount Pantocrator. So that's going to be an epic challenge. Whoa! Get off my land and all that. So we've got some epic things lined up, and all being well, these things will go according to plan. That is the plan. And then August, back in the Greek islands again to complete our sailing qualifications, get our ICC, allowing us to charter a yacht and bareboat yachts and not being reliant on a skipper or a flotilla leader. So the wind is picking up again, guys, so I'm going to sign off. I hope you've enjoyed this little walk along the Teesdale Way. It has been a blast, literally. It's been incredibly windy as well, but we've done 2.5 hours, I think just over by the time we get to the car. And we've done Low Dinsdale Church to Middleton One Row and halfway to Yarm and back. And everyone's been really friendly. Everyone's been really chatty this afternoon. People seem to be in good spirits, which is lovely. So I'll leave it for you all to take care and stay safe, my friends. If you like my videos, please leave a friendly comment. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the little bell so you know where I am and what I'm doing and what I'm exploring immediately. If you're a Facebook user, please like and follow my page. If you're a YouTuber, you know the drill. Subscribe to find out where I am and what I'm doing. So before we head out across the field, you can just see, if I swing around, you might just be able to see in the distance, just up there, that is the Church of Low Dinsdale. So we've got an open field to cross, which means we're going to get blown across it. And I think we'll call this little adventure this afternoon well and truly a wrap. So I've been Matt from Life Begins at 50, 462 days. Take care, my friends, and I will see you all very soon. Oh, just look at that, and the sun is just bursting through the trees. The late afternoon sun is just coming through. What do they say? The sun always shines on the righteous. So thanks very much for following along this afternoon, guys. You take care, please stay safe. Remember to look after those that are close to you, your nearest and dearest, your friends and family and your loved ones. Make sure that we all stay positive, and I'll see you all soon when I'm out and about somewhere around England. Fingers crossed.